Today we're going to be talking about the best diet for football players to follow. Now, the first thing I want to talk about when it comes to a football player's diet is staying in a calorie surplus. A goal that a lot of football players have in the offseason is to be able to put on as much weight as possible, but still maintain their athleticism and still get the most out of their on-field workouts. I think everybody's biggest fear when it comes to the diet is, oh, I gain a bunch of weight, because as football players, we always got to gain weight, but everybody's biggest fear is if I gain a bunch of weight, am I going to slow down? Am I not going to be as optimal on the field? So this is an easy way that you can do that. Number one is focusing on being in a calorie surplus, but making sure that the calories that you are consuming are healthy calories to help with your performance on the field and in the gym. So what do I mean by that? So a calorie surplus is when you're consuming more calories than you're burning, right? If you're burning a bunch of calories doing field workouts, gym workouts, you've got to make sure that you are consuming more than you're burning, or else you are going to lose weight. Unless you need to lose weight, then that might not be a bad thing. But if you're trying to gain weight, you should try to stay 20 to 30% above the amount of calories that you're consuming on a daily basis. So let's say you burn 1,000 calories a day. You want to try to consume 1,200 to 1,300 calories per day to keep you 20 to 30% above your break-even point. So now, those calories, let's say for example, you shouldn't be eating a bunch of fast food. You shouldn't be eating a bunch of white bread. You shouldn't be eating a bunch of, processed different foods that come in wrappers with a bunch of ingredients on the back. You should be trying to eat clean. So a couple examples of that: instead of white bread, maybe have sweet potato. Instead of white bread, or instead of some type of processed carb, maybe some type of, like oats or whatever, you could have like rice. You could have brown rice. All those single ingredient foods that are high in calories are some of the best foods that can give you energy on the field, energy in the gym, and not just put on those extra calories or extra weight to you. Now, when it comes to protein for football players, there's a couple things that you want to focus on. Even if you're trying to gain weight, even if you're not trying to gain weight, protein consumption is so important to help your body recover, so you can do get the most out of your workouts the next day and perform at an optimal level the next day, right? So what protein helps us do is repair the micro tears that we get in our body from working out on the field and from working out in the gym. So if you're trying to gain weight, you want to try to consume 1 gram of protein per pound of desired body weight. So if you're 160 pounds and your goal is to get to 175, you should try to consume 175 grams of protein a day. Now, if you're just trying to maintain where you're at, you're just trying to recover, you're trying to perform, whether it's your strength in the gym, maybe it's just your on-field performance and you're constantly working out in the off-season, you should try to consume 1 gram of protein per pound of your current body weight. So let's say you're 185, you should consume 185 grams of protein. That's kind of the best gauge, I would say, to help your body recover properly, recover faster, so you can be, I guess you could say, recovered for the next workout and the next day. So like, let's say for example, you're an athlete, and let's say you do like a gym workout in the morning, you do a field workout after school, and then you do a speed workout. That's a lot of pressure on your muscles and a lot of wear and tear on your muscles. So you have to do the things necessary to help your body recover, so the next day you could get more out of your actual workouts and your actual field workouts. Because if you're constantly wearing your body down over and over and over again and not taking care of things from a diet standpoint or protein standpoint, you're eventually not going to make any gains. Your body's going to be so worn down, so broken down, that you're never going to have time to recover, and you will never make any gains strength on the field or with your performance. So guys, obviously consuming 170 to 185 grams of protein is a trying task. That's a lot of protein that you're going to have to consume on a daily basis. So having a great protein powder supplement is something that you should obviously consider. So if you guys would like a protein powder supplement, a whey protein from A&G Labs, check out that very first link in the description below, where you could get our salted caramel, vanilla, or chocolate protein. It's very, very easy on the stomach, it's easy to digest, and it's extremely light. So guys, if you want a great protein to help you hit your protein goals for the day, again, very first link in that description below, use promo code FIRST15 at checkout, you'll get 15% off on this protein. Now we're gonna go over a day of eating that you could do as a football player to help you put on size, but also maintain your athleticism by consuming healthy calories. So like we mentioned in the very beginning, when you're consuming like food, when you're trying to figure out what you're eating on a day-to-day basis, you should try to keep it simple. You don't want to eat anything processed, nothing that's made in a lab, nothing that has probably like 12, 15 ingredients on the back of the label. You want to eat 1 ingredient food. So I'm going to walk you through like kind of a day of eating that I myself do, that you guys could probably apply to your own eating schedule, that can help you get those healthy calories, but also help you gain weight. So now, first things first, in the morning, what I'll eat is I'll eat eggs and I'll eat sweet potatoes. So those are both single ingredient foods. I don't use a ton of butter, don't use a ton of cooking spray on the food. Just try to keep it as simple and as clean as possible. 1 ingredient foods. Then for lunch, what I'm trying to eat is chicken, obviously, and then I'll try to have some type of rice. So brown rice is what I eat, and then like an apple, maybe some berries, whatever the case may be. And then in the evening for dinner, I would try to eat some type of chicken, beef, red meat, whatever the case may be, and then sweet potatoes again. So you see that entire diet right there. And again, you could filter in snacks here and there. I'm assuming that that's probably best if you're trying to gain weight, but they're all single ingredient foods. They're not processed foods. They're not white breads, because those types of foods give you the most energy, and they're the types of carbs that will give you long-lasting energy. If you're getting your calorie intake, like let's say you're burning 1,000 calories a day, and you're trying to consume 1,200, 1,300 calories a day, but it's all processed foods, you're not gonna have any energy to perform on the field. Maybe you're doing a speed workout, maybe you're doing a positional workout. You're not gonna have the energy to do it. So having those single ingredient foods, trying to eat a little bit cleaner, but still hitting your calorie intake is best for football players who wanna gain weight, but still maintain athleticism and maintain their skills. Now guys, we're gonna be talking about some things that you could do in the gym as a football player to help out with your diet, to help you put on healthy muscle mass. But first things first, in the gym, you obviously have to lift heavier, right? Now again, you don't wanna lift heavier. That 1 rep to 2 rep max is not gonna be the thing that's gonna help put on muscle mass and put on lean muscle mass on your body. The rep range that you wanna stay in is an 8 to 12 rep range. But in that 8 to 12 rep range, that's the best range for hypertrophy, which is essentially muscle growth. That rep range, you have to be pushing yourself, and you have to be consistently pushing yourself and increasing the amount of weight each week that you do in that 8 to 12 rep range. Like let's say, for example, it's an exercise like shoulder press, right? And let's say you could put like 10s on the side of the bar. Let's say it's barbell shoulder press, and you're doing 8 reps easy, right? The next week, maybe you put 10s on and then a 2.5 on each side. You're progressively growing up in weight every single week and pushing yourself in that 8 to 12 rep range. Now, to be able to make that kind of strength gain in the gym, a great supplement that you could take is a creatine supplement. So at AG Labs, we have a creatine monohydrate supplement that's 100 servings. If you check out that second link in the description below, you can get it for 15% off if you use the promo code FIRST15 at checkout. Now, at the what creatine essentially does for athletes is not going to put weight on you immediately. It's going to put weight on you because it makes you stronger. Well, how it makes you stronger is it takes the water from your body and it will hydrate your muscles, which gives you more energy in the gym, which helps with strength in the gym and endurance in the gym. So you could get more out of your workouts and actually put in the right amount of work in that 8 to 12 rep range. So guys, creatine supplement is great for football players if you're serious about gaining weight, making gains with strength, which are all things can make you appeal to a college coach, a high school coach, whoever you're trying to impress. So guys, second link in that description below, use promo code FIRST15 for 15% off our 100 serving creatine monohydrate. Now, when it comes to the gym, guys, we just mentioned that you want to stay in that 8 to 12 rep range. That's the best rep range for muscle growth, but how you guys can, I guess, make it easier to go up in weight each week, like we were talking about, we were using that shoulder press example, right? Where you're doing 8 reps with 10s on the side. The next week you're going 10s on each side and 2.5s on each side. Maybe the week after that we go 15 pounds on each side, and we're consistently adding weight week to week. So we're constantly leveling up in that 8 to 12 rep range. That's how you guys put on muscle and you continue to push yourself in the gym, because you have to push yourself and you have to train hard if you're trying to put on size. But a tip that I can give you guys is do not neglect going heavy in that like 1 to 5 rep, like max rep range. So for shoulder press, let's say you're like 3 rep max is maybe you put like 35s on each side. You should be working in that rep range consistently on a weekly basis to make it easier when you do that 8 to 12 rep range to progressively overload the exercise and continue to add weight. So you cannot neglect your strength. Especially as a football player, strength training is so important because we have to be strong on the field. So you cannot neglect those certain types of exercises, and also you have to combine it with those like bodybuilding type exercises, which will help you put on size. Now, another thing, because football players obviously want to gain weight, they want to gain size, but they're worried about losing speed. So what you also cannot neglect in the gym is explosive movement. So doing Olympic lifts like power cleans, hand cleans, one-arm dumbbell snatch, box jumps, those things will help you keep that extra step or that extra speed that you have on the field, as that's so important for football players. So don't just train like a bodybuilder. You have to do the bodybuilding exercises. You have to do the core exercises to put on size, but don't neglect your strength and do not neglect those explosive movements, because that will hinder your on-field performance.